All right, we're in the house. We're in the house. Black power. Let me make sure this double up don't come in here. Come on. There we go. All right, there. I just want to silence that. All right, Black Power. It's the General Sarah Seti, and y'all black with the truth hour, guaranteed, to open up the consciousness of and blackness with deep within inside of you today. And so y'all know what it is, KingSeti.com, online marketplace, fly products for the kings and queens out there. Got that classic work by the General Sarah Seti, that official work. You see what I'm saying? Classic lectures and DVDs. We got the t-shirt, we got the hoodies. Fly. Check us out. We got jewelry for the kings and queens. Fly. Check us out. Guaranteed you gonna love it. For the family out there want that exclusive General Sarah live streams, y'all know y'all got to give me Patreon. Y'all got to give me Patreon. General Sarah Seti, you need to get on over there. I'm going live tonight. Putting that fire in there. You understand what I'm saying? Guaranteed you're going to want to be down. So make sure you get over there to my Patreon, General Sarah Seti, and y'all know what it is. GeneralSeti.com, Seti University, got over 700 videos, damn near everything. Everything. You understand what I'm saying? That ain't on my Patreon, and you feel me, it's there, it's over 700, and it's growing every day. It's gonna be 1,000, and then it's just gonna be all new shit. You know what I'm saying? And into the future. So if you're looking for that most advanced treasure chest of African knowledge, get on over there to Seti University, the Black Netflix. And make sure you subscribe to both of my YouTube channels, General Seti, Sarah Seti. You're going to want to be down on both. You feel me? Because I'm putting that work in on both of them. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, because you're gonna want to know when I go live. You ain't going to want to miss it. And y'all goddamn give it a thumbs up, like it because you love it. You feel me? And let's go to work. Now, today, you know what I'm saying? Because I got to give it to you gas. You know what I'm saying? I got to give you that gas, that global African supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Because I see that, a lot of people's is, trying to lose respect for the power of ancient Egypt. You know what I'm saying? And they, and thinking that they're going to disrespect. And you know what I'm saying? We're not going to have that. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to put these facts down hard. So, motherfuckers, say when we speak this truth is all powerful. And no matter how you feel about it, motherfucker, you're going to have to respect it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these niggas, I think they call them hotels and this, that, and the third. I try not to get off into that. I spoke of that shit early on, you know what I'm saying? And, they have not served the culture and the movement well. You know what I'm saying? And so we foretold to these rogue niggas. You see what I'm saying? That would come from the wastelands and come upon this movement and cause, all type of, characteristics that's unbecoming of this movement. But, we're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with that. Now, let's talk about some things. Because this is a very, very mighty civilization when we talk about ancient Egypt. Very mighty civilization. And one of the major things for me, number one, because we always talking about government. You know what I'm saying? We always talking about rulership and all this shit and nationalism and this, that, and sovereignty and all these big ass words that niggas use. You see what I'm saying? But ancient Egypt lasted according to the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal chronology, okay, for those, that just don't know the white man. And you see what I'm saying? They give Egypt 3100 BC as the founding. You see what I'm saying? And it fell, you know what I'm saying, to the Persians, I don't know, 600 BC, somewhere around there. You see what I'm saying? So it lasted close to, over 3,000 years of continuous rule. And we can go even longer than that if we, add the Nubian, the preliminary culture, in Nubia, which is almost 1,000 years old in ancient Egypt. You have 4,000 BC, but the greatest fact is that it lasted for over 3,000 years. We talking about government. You see what I'm saying? And so when you look at modern nations and see how they wobbling and falling apart and shit, sometimes I wonder how some of these motherfucking nations last 10 years. Less known 3,000 years. And so that's the thing when motherfuckers talk about the Greek, when they talk about that Hebrew, when they talk about that Islam or any of that, none of them motherfuckers have lasted, in civilization and dynastic rule. They shit fall apart. The Greeks only lasted 400 years. You understand what I'm saying? The Romans, lasted, I'm talking about it as far as the empire ruling from Rome. It didn't last that long. Maybe 300-400 years for Rome. You know what I'm saying? And so when you add all these guys, you can damn near put 5 and 6 cultures that motherfuckers claim that is really major. And you can put them all in one goddamn basket and they still don't have the longevity, that we see in the civilization of ancient Egypt. So number one, if I'm looking for a blueprint on nationalism, you understand what I'm saying, in government, you understand what I'm saying, in all areas of government, from commerce, your interior, agriculture, defense. You see what I'm saying? And you talking about for folks, so who do you go to? You understand what I'm saying? And so, hands down for me, that's one of the greatest attributes of. Now, of course, I can go way beyond 7, but we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Okay? Now, in that 4,000 years, number two, it reached the highest pinnacle of architecture, mathematics, astronomy, spirituality ever on the planet. You see what I'm saying? Ever. When we look at the great works of Egypt, nobody can compare. I mean, I don't give a fuck where you at. I don't care. You see what I'm saying? I don't care. I don't want to hear what it looked like. It ain't there now. If it ever was there. You see what I'm saying? We talking about original monuments, megaliths. You understand what I'm saying? And so, and when you look at the pyramid, you're already seeing the pinnacle of mathematics. You're looking at the pinnacle that ever been reached on this planet. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about astronomy, and so many things that that no other civilization can compare to. I don't give a goddamn which one you point to. So when you talking about, everlasting, Egypt is everlasting because the level of the sciences and shit had reached a level to it. Even today, people trying to say aliens, saying motherfucking angels built the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Could not have been man. You know what I'm saying? And especially no damn black man and black woman. You see what I'm saying? And so that's another, no, and I don't care which one you point to. You see what I'm saying? And not just when, and a lot of people think and say, oh, the pyramid, God damn it, it's more than one pyramid. They didn't just do this shit one time. They did this shit all the time. You see what I'm saying? For a long damn time. You see what I'm saying? On a level that nobody else has been able to obtain. You see astronomy, you know what I'm saying? In which I'm gonna deal with, the calendar. That's another one that that they invented the calendar, but I don't want to do that right now. You see what I'm saying? And so, outside of the 4,000 years and reaching the highest pinnacle of architecture, you see mathematics, astronomy. The Egyptians invented the alphabet. Okay, which is very clear. You know what I'm saying? They invented the alphabet. They invented the phonetic script. They invented the cursive script, and they had more than one cursive script. You see what I'm saying? So the Greeks took an alphabet from ancient Egypt and created what they call as Greek language. And then the Latins took from the Greeks. And you see what I'm saying? And all of what you call Europe today is on a Latin-based alphabet. You see what I'm saying? So the alphabet come out of ancient Egypt. You see what I'm saying? And so when you're talking about the greatest invention ever, it is goddamn writing. You understand what I'm saying? Shit. You know what I'm saying? It's writing. That's when goddamn shit could get where it's at today. Without writing, you know what I'm saying? You can't have institution, you can't have education in the way that, when you're talking about great and advanced civilizations, you ain't gonna be remembering no goddamn formulas in your goddamn head. You're gonna have to write that shit down. You're gonna need to be able to refer back to this shit. And you dropping wisdom and knowledge and shit, you got to record this for the ages. You see what I'm saying? And so, right there, the alphabet. And so with the alphabet, we also have language. You see what I'm saying? Motherfuckers can grunt. And a motherfucker might can understand the grunt. But when you start talking about putting words and taking the alphabet and putting words together and creating language, you see what I'm saying? In Egypt is the first time that you see the written language. When I speak of Egypt, I speak Nubia also. You know what I'm saying? I speak of both, And so, we have the alphabet, we have the language. And so, with that came the books. You see what I'm saying? The first books written on papyrus. And this is where you get the root of the word page. This is where you get the root of the word paper. You see what I'm saying? This is where you get the root of the word paper. You get it from papyrus. You know what I'm saying? So motherfuckers always talking about, they was writing books before the Africans. The first question I asked them, I said, what the fuck was you writing it on? Because it wasn't paper. You understand what I'm saying? Nah, you can goat skins and motherfuckers is scribbling in little clay cookies and shit and with we used to do that shit, get a little branch and shit and write in the mud and shit and this, that, and the third. We're not doing this. We're talking about advanced technology in language. We're talking about, the alphabet and so on and so forth. You see what I'm saying? And so here is where you get institution, because you automatically gonna need an alphabet. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna need a language to define, and not only is you gonna need books, and you're gonna need a dictionary to define your reality. You're gonna need encyclopedias of various sciences and arts. You're going to have an encyclopedia on the various subjects. You see what I'm saying? But you can't have that without no damn books. So it's in Egypt that you get the modern educational system as it exists today, where you go to the university and and it's, many subjects, various sciences and arts and writing and spiritual things and many classes. It depends on what your major is and what you specialize in. Okay. And so, outside of that, because that's a whole, is all lectures unto themselves. I could goddamn go on and on and on and on. You see what I'm saying? But no civilization can say they had books before Africa. That's a lie. That we could clearly destroy that right now. You see what I'm saying? And the alphabet we could destroy that. You see what I'm saying? And even when, as I go up to the 4,000, dynastic rule, you see what I'm saying? The Hebrews, they could only hold, and even though they could only hold a dynastic rule for about, I think maybe 200 years. So how in the fuck is the Hebrews greater than Egypt and they God's chosen and they can only last for 200 some motherfucking years as kings? They couldn't, and so we got over damn near 4,000 years of dynastic rule, of government, you know what I'm saying, and rulership and in sovereign, so when you look at all these groups that try to compare to ancient Egypt, you can damn near put them all together just to get to the length of how long ancient Egypt existed. You can damn near put the you can put the Romans, you could put the Greek, you could put the Indian, you can put his ass in there too. You understand what I'm saying? You can put his ass in there too. I know a lot about them that, they getting some spiked up numbers on how ancient they think they is. Because a lot of that shit over there, they done destroyed the more ancient shit that showed that African people was there before they got there. So they didn't, so they manipulate. And so you could damn near put them all in one basket. And you know what I'm saying? And that'll be about maybe the length of Egyptian rule. Now, another thing, that is one of the greatest facts about ancient Egypt is the megalithic veneration of the African woman. You see what I'm saying? I'm gonna say that again. Megalithic. That means you bigging up, you building on a you see what I'm saying? Great monuments and shit that's so tall and massive, So the megalithic veneration of the African woman. Nah, what am I saying when I say that? Number one, when you go to Egypt, you know what I'm saying? This is the one of the only places, and probably the only place where you can go in the world on this level and see temples constructed to the veneration and worship of the African woman on a megalithic level. And why am I saying megalithic? There's no way around in what they believe. You see what I'm saying? It's built in stone and it's so massive. And when you build that massive, that means it really means something to you. You see what I'm saying? It's the love of your life. And so when you build on that level, so when you go to Egypt and you see the temple of Dendera that's constructed to the worship of the African woman, that's Heru. When you go to Philae and you see the temple of Aset, massive, beautiful temple to Aset, then you can go to the funerary temple of Hatshepsut. I think it's Bel Dahari or something. you see the funerary temple where actually she built that. So I'm not going to count that. But you still see, and yes, I will. Yes, I will. The only reason I was speaking of the black man and those things that was constructed for a queen. Hatshepsut, constructed that temple, and it counts. But because we just speaking of the veneration of the African woman, and so at that temple, you see highly venerated Hathor. You see what I'm Heru, which is the cow goddess. You see what I'm saying? And so you can look at the megalithic statue at the Museum of Cairo when you come in and you see Amenhotep III with his wife, his queen, divine queen T. You see what I'm saying? And you see her, on the same level as the king. And I believe that very well may have been the first time where the queen was depicted. You know what I'm saying? On the same side. I must state that. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not saying they didn't have, but we using documentation. You see what I'm saying? But that has not been done nowhere on the planet. We understand this up in Kush, and the practices is going on deeper up into Africa. The practice, but in Egypt is manifested in just overpowering megaliths and monuments and temples, and that was the first time that it had ever been done like that. You see what I'm saying? And so I know, and then that's what I was talking to the temple at Abu Simbel that was constructed by Ramesses II. You see what I'm saying? For his divine wife, Nefertari II. You see what I'm saying? And so you see, and then you see, high veneration of our most Nefertari, a very dark black African queen. You know what I'm saying? Who was the primary matriarch queen of the 18th dynasty, which is arguably the greatest dynasty of all in ancient Egypt. I'm doing a video on that to argue that point. You see what I'm saying? And so and so there's so many, whether it be statues and drawings and carvings of our most Nefertari. So right there, that's proof and positive. When we see Nu and we see the Holy Mother and Child, we see just the high veneration on a large level of the African woman. You see what I'm saying? And that's profound. That is profound to see women goddesses and this, that, carved in megalithic stone. You know what I'm saying? And so it's no doubt. And it wasn't one. You understand what I'm saying? It wasn't one. It was many. As many goddesses as gods in ancient Egypt. You see what I'm saying? And so that right there is one of the more profound facts. Now, we talking now. Now, another great thing that, a fact about ancient Egypt, and I said greatest, but it's so many greatest facts, you know what I'm saying, about this great civilization. We can go on and on. Now, another thing that is great about ancient Egypt is the concept of salvation. You see what I'm saying? Salvation, an afterlife. Ancient Egypt, and now we're talking about in a profound state. Now, a lot of my Africanist brothers, they argue and say, well, it's a lot of African civilization that had the traits, and I understand that, but we're talking about in the most profound presentation of all times. You understand what I'm saying? Shit, we ain't even got to talk. Motherfucker, when you walk up to you, we ain't even got to talk. Motherfucker, bow your head to the floor, to the ground, and bear witness that you in the land of gods. gods and goddesses. You see what I'm saying? Put your head on the floor. We don't even need you to say shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's land like that. You see? And so everybody else, they got the, they got the, what the word is when you size and that means you make it up and you freestyling. You see what I'm saying? Telling us about this great land that used to, and great palaces and shit, and ain't nan one of them motherfuckers is standing or ever stood. You see what I'm saying? So, the afterlife. And so this is the basis of all religion. Because you know what I'm saying? That, the ancient Egyptians gave, the world, the modern world, salvation, that there was an afterlife. Now, it could be the heaven of the Christians. It could be the heaven of Islam. But the ancient Egyptians already had a system of salvation. And so when people talk, you know what I'm saying? I don't let motherfuckers, and like I say, I'm Africa is the holy land. But within that holy land is some holy of holies. You see what I'm saying? And Egypt is one of them holy of holies. And I speak of other holy of holies, but just being clear on what Egypt has given to the world that is unparalleled by any other civilization. You understand what I'm saying? And nobody should ask you to do without it. You know what I'm saying? When a motherfucker asks you, no, motherfucker, that's almost like asking you to deal, to live with only half a brain and shit. When a motherfucker asks you to live without something you so much need. You know what I'm saying? Why should I live without? And they really want us to give up ancient Egypt because that's the end game. You know what I'm saying? If we got it and we playing it and we lining our spades up, that's the motherfucking joker, man. You know what I'm saying? I know we got to be smarter than that out there, man. Because Egypt is not just, where motherfuckers maybe God did this. No, motherfucker, here it is. This is African people building. You see what I'm saying? And African people. And so I know goddamn well y'all not going to let these people talk you out of the greatest thing that ever existed. You understand? In life on this planet that we know of. You see what I'm saying? And so that right there is profound to give us salvation, give us an afterlife that we got, there. And if we live morally within that, if we live morally, then that life will be offered to us. Heaven, what we call a mentor or the afterlife, a beautiful life where you come to see all your loved ones. If you morally correct with the ancestors and the God, then that life is going to be offered to you. You see what I'm saying? So with is also a reality. You see what I'm saying? And we want to most definitely state that. You know what I'm saying? That, is also morality. Now, you see, let's bring up the fact that, the Egyptians invented the 64-day calendar. You see what I'm saying? I don't know if it's 364 and 1/4. I don't know if they rounded up to 365 now, but we know for a fact that the ancient Egyptians invented that calendar that we own today. That we own today, the motherfucking calendar that you got on your wall. And so when you're talking about civilization and shit, and motherfuckers talking about giving up certain shit, I'm not listening here. We invented this shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to motherfucking go, and I believe in, doing the natural thing and shit, but we got to quit making people thinking that we running the, just gardens alone and shit. Yeah, we did and we mastered agriculture. Shit, Egypt was the bread basket of the world, but they was great at hundreds of arts and sciences at the same time. You see what I'm saying? And so we know right there that they invented the calendar that we own today, and we wouldn't even have no damn time. You know what I'm saying? And we brought in, when you think about the calculations that it took, you understand what I'm saying? That it took to create this calendar. You know what I'm saying? That it would have taken an enormous amount of time. You know what I'm saying? Just to even think about creating the damn calendar, let alone, doing the calculations and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's very powerful. And then I think this is number 7. This is number 7. When we look at the ancient Egyptian pharaoh on the wall, striking the enemies, of Africa. You see, the ancient Egyptians took the first blows and struck the first blows of victory on what would later be called today white supremacy, because these is when the Neanderthals was coming down out of them caves in mass droves. You understand what I'm saying? And so these African kings and queens, but this is a man's world, and when you dealing with a battlefield, I don't believe in all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Get your ass out there, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? But when you look on the walls of ancient Egypt, you see the kings with their war mace and drawn, high in the air, striking the skulls of their enemy. You see what I'm saying? So we were striking the very first blows on these, these pagans and heathens and cavemen. And so Egypt was victorious for many a year. And the thing is, because I'm doing, on Patreon, I'm doing ancient Egypt for real black revolutionary. See, the thing is, what has happened with ancient Egypt is that these mystical niggas, I'm going to have to say this now, these mystical niggas, have portrayed Egypt to the point that we don't look at the great kings of ancient Egypt like we look at Shaka Zulu. You know what I'm saying? See, we got that Eurocentric soft view. Niggas look at, to them, the 10 Commandments and shit in Charleston Heston. See, that's that soft Eurocentric. And so people don't really look at Egypt like they should look at, as any other African nation. I'm talking about black nation. You understand? This is not even up for argument. You know what I'm saying? And so we don't look at Egypt like we look at, say Ghana or Mali or any of those, or deeper south, in Africa, Kenya or Uganda. We don't look at it. And so Egypt is an enigma because they didn't put out so much propaganda trying to steal Egypt from our brain. And so when you see new information outside of that paradigm, you suspect to that shit like, is this shit true? You see what I'm saying? Is this shit true? But, so again, when you step away from the fight, then, everything just lose life. You know what I'm saying? The fight is what give everything life. You see what I'm saying? It breathes that fire, that fire spirit up into anything that you do. You see what I'm saying? And so, a lot of niggas who scared of the fight, you know what I'm saying? They done moved away from, scholars that give a more revolutionary type of presentation. You see what I'm saying? They give a more revolutionary, they find teachers that fit, the soft like they ass. You see what I'm saying? I'm just gonna be real, man. And everybody know how I'm cut and shit, and so that's what it is. I'm calling this shit SNI, soft nigga interpretation. You see what I'm saying? Soft nigga interpretation, SNI. That's another deadly disease of us. You know what I'm saying? We soft and so when people don't look at the Narmers and the Ramesses and the Setis and the Tutmoses, and they don't look at them like they look at Shaka Zulu. You know what I'm saying? Because people have not done the necessary work. You know what I'm saying, to really make this information available to our babies and do it without the fight. You ain't gonna say what need to be said. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna cut it. You understand what I'm saying? All the damn time. You're gonna cut the goddamn information. You see what I'm saying? And so we got to have a pure approach. You understand what I'm saying? Of unadulterated, African power information that's going to be put before the people. And you know what I'm saying? So that they could see it. But many of these, these family members with the SNI, you know what I'm saying? They dumbing it down. They tending to deal with scholars that is soft like they are. They're not gonna deal with them hardcore scholars that's gonna hold them to task about this thrust, which is physical in many instances, and niggas have fled from these physical instances. You understand what I'm under any circumstances, and so they have detached from that responsibility. Of what we call physical, and they are right. They're gonna be black power integrationalists, and they willing to live on the intestines of I used to say in either or, it don't make no damn difference. But we got to get up off the white man titty. But the reality is, it's his motherfucking intestines. That's where niggas is located, in his intestines. So get up off his motherfucking intestines, out of, sucking on that damn poison that's coming down them tubes and shit. You see what I'm saying? And so that's, one of the main things where I keep it raw. You know what I'm saying? To let them know that these are the adversaries. These are the adversaries, and this is what our forefathers taught us. This is how you deal with shit. And you know what? Our time is gonna come. We're gonna rise again. I'm talking to the brothers out there. We're gonna rise, because we're gonna come to understand them necessary things. You know what I'm saying? And ain't no turning back. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no turning back, nigga. Your only option is to move forward. You feel what I'm saying? That's your only motherfucking option, is to move forward. Anything else is suicide. So y'all choose the road and think long and hard for you choose that motherfucker. Because that's going to your ass and you don't have to wear it. You know what I'm saying? And so again, these is seven powerful. This is why. And so if you teaching and you talking about some nationalism, you most definitely talking about ancient Egypt, the longest lasting government nation that has ever existed. Maybe the only rival by ancient Nubia. And ancient Nubia, when the numbers are recalculated, Nubia might have lasted longer than Egypt. And so even with the alphabet, language, and books, why is this necessary? Because they gave us the ingredients of institution, of where because everybody else outside of Egypt was over there grunting and putting one symbol on the tree and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So when you talk about modern civilization, our ancestors, showed us the out, and that's why I don't let them make Egypt into something that we could just throw away. Because I'm not about just thinking we was pushing some goddamn cattle through the motherfucking desert, and you know what I'm saying, and niggas just planting goddamn vegetables and shit, this, that, and the third. No, no, we can't do that shit. We got to look at the things of ancient Egypt that we could use right now. When I said that it was the highest pinnacle of architecture, mathematics, that's where technology and industry, that's what is the fuel of technology and industry. You see what I'm saying? And so, we got nationalism right there. And then, the veneration of our African woman. You understand what I'm saying? And ain't shit gonna get right until we get that right. You understand what I'm saying? Got to get that together. You understand what I'm saying? They got to pay up for that debt. You know what I'm saying? Got to pay up for that debt. And then the salvation is, is Africans being reaching the end zone, nigga, and run it in. They out of here, and so that's salvation. And so they gave and the calendar and so on and so forth. But most of all, the victorious strike, the mace to the skull and let them fall by the thousands. We're talking about the smiting of the enemy, not the inviting of the enemy, but the smiting of the enemy. We got to get back to the root and make it real to our babies that these Egyptian kings are just like Shaka, just like any of the, and I put Shaka up because he's like, the foremost fear African king that we promote to the world, and rightfully so. You understand what I'm saying? But when we speak of Irma, and we speak of Amos, and we speak of Tutmos, we got to project these African kings in the light of Shaka, so they could see that African ferociousness. And you know what I'm saying? That you see in a king like that. We can present the Eurocentric soft view, and you understand what I'm saying? And we cannot, from these niggeroids, the SN9, the soft nigger interpretation. We cannot have that. Trying to make an Egypt that fit into the curriculum of Western academia. You understand what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. Don't want to go too far, but you know what I'm saying? You just want to be able to go to the campus and do this, that, and the third. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. You see what I'm saying? So, family, I got 3 lectures today. This is the first lecture. Black again. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all hit that fucking like button and hit that goddamn notification bell. So when I go live. You feel me? Got some work that I'm ready to put in. I got to stand by. Because you already know, goddamn it, we roll. You see what I'm saying? So y'all can get on over there to my Patreon. I got Ancient Egypt for Black Revolutionaries. I put the damn title along was too, controversial. Gonna bring a lot of heat. You know what I'm saying and shit. So we on Patreon. You know what I'm saying? About to put that. And later on Sarah Susan Seti YouTube page, we're gonna have the difference between a hotel and a real Black revolutionary. And I know that's gonna bring a lot of emotions out and shit. So don't come with your little nigga, get your toilet, toilet tissue and shit, and get ready to wipe the tears out your eyes. I don't give a damn. If the mirror tell on you, nigga, then that's between you and the mirror. All right, family, this is General Sarah Soon Seti saying, hey, arm yourself and bang on that wicked ass beast daily through African education and confrontation. Black power.